In this short video, I'll be explaining to you the command word analyze. And really, the aim of this video is to quickly show you how, by understanding the definition of the command words, that influences the structure and how you conclude essays at IB level. So the command word analyze. It falls under the AO2 application and analysis of knowledge and understanding part of the assessment criteria for essays at IB. And really, in the definition given by the IB is that when you analyse, you need to break down in order to bring out the essential elements or structure. So some examples for you. It's a very common command word for a 12-mark response essay on paper 3. So most of the examples I'm going to show you are from a 12-mark response, are based on 12-mark responses, but you can apply this very easily to a 10-mark or a 16-mark question. So for example, November 2019, paper 3, analyse the reasons why people's freedoms to participate in global interactions varies from place to place. A year later, analyse the scale and severity of the challenges created by transboundary pollution, and analyse ways in which global trade flows can affect the size of national carbon footprints. And I'm going to take the final one and break it down for you to show how, by understanding the command word, analyse, it helps you to structure your essay. And like I said, most of these questions, most analyzed questions tend to appear as 12-mark essay questions for paper 3. So this is the mark scheme for a 12-mark essay response, and you can see clearly that we are not required to make a judgment or construct an argument. And that's really important, because if we do that, it takes time away from us answering the question. So let's go back to the question. And this time I'm going to put in the definition of analyze into the question. So, break down in order to bring out the essential elements of structure, ways in which global trade flows can affect the size of national carbon footprints. So, in other words, we're trying to show key ways that flows in consumer goods, tourists, etc. can influence the size of national carbon footprints. Doing so, we need to obviously have examples, so a range of examples. 2 is the absolute minimum. It's best if you can have 3. And each paragraph must contain a different flow, and it must show how this is either increased or decreased in national carbon footprint. So what might your essay look like? Well, obviously, any essay needs an introduction. And within that introduction, you'll define the key terms, and you'll outline the structure of your essay. So in this essay, I will show several ways that global flows influence the size of a nation's carbon footprint, or something like that. And the main body, remember, one paragraph is an essential element, a key way. So firstly, flows in, state the flow, have increased or decreased the carbon footprint of your country by quick summary of the way, and then go into detail using that case study. You're going to repeat that twice. Now obviously after you've done that, you need a conclusion. So, but before you have your conclusion, you might want to have a paragraph X moment. Now remember, we are looking at global interactions. So when you look at an interaction, it's a reciprocal action or influence. Something is either having a more or less positive, negative influence on country of destination, or where that flow has come from. So for example, if a country imports gas and they use that to generate electricity, but that's going to obviously add to the country's national carbon footprint. But what about the country who extracted it? Their carbon footprint, therefore, is dictated by global demand. If country or countries are demanding more gas, then obviously that country that has the gas is going to have to produce more, and that's also going to influence their carbon footprints. So can you see now that although you've done a very sort of a static global flow going from country 1 to country 2, for that paragraph X moment in an analyze question, you need to actually show that in some cases it's reciprocal. So when you write your summary, when you write your conclusion, you need to show that, and that's when the command word helps again. So for example, in conclusion, this essay has shown that some key ways that global flows can influence the national carbon footprint are by this. However, in reality, the situation is more complex because. Now here, there's some other examples of when you need to approach the analyze questions in a slightly different way. So here, using examples, analyze the influence of diaspora populations and the cultural identity of different places. So you obviously need to state different ways that local cultures have been influenced by different diasporas, but then your paragraph X moment is that reciprocal nature. How diasporas in one country have influenced maybe their home country. And then in May 2019, now this is quite a specific one where you don't necessarily need to have a paragraph X moment, but you do need to ensure that you focus on both aspects of the question. So analyze the validity and reliability of two indicators of human development. You must comment on validity and reliability before concluding. So to summarize, analyze really means breaking down the focus of the question into key reasons, backed up with examples. If you have one focus, think how the interaction is having a positive or negative influence at place of origin or destination. If you have several focuses within that question, you must make sure you cover both aspects.